2 or 3 different cards. So you want to take the offer from the card that will, one, eliminate that debt for you because you're going to transfer it all, and two, that's not going to kill you when it comes to interest rates if the 0% goes and passes. So the one that's not going to kill you the most. So if you got one that's giving you the offer at 14% after the zero is done, and one that's giving you the offer at 21%, obviously you want to take the offer that comes from the card that's giving you 14%. So I want you to look out for that. And then I want you to look out for what the fee is. So whatever the fee is, typically there's a fee. So the fee may say $5 or 4% of whatever you transfer over. And that'll be how much it costs you. And they're going to put that on your credit card right away. It's going to be how much it costs you to do this balance transfer. So I want you to look at those too, because the same way you got the higher interest rates ones, you could get one that says, all right, you get a 2% cost, or you get the 4, or you get the 5% cost. I want you to look at those too before you make a decision how you're actually going to go ahead and transfer those balances. So I'm going to get back to transferring balances again. We're going to do question of the day in a moment. So let me throw out a couple of more shout outs. I got to shout out Wayne Hilson. Congratulations on becoming Dr. Wayne Hilson. Yes, so I think it's official right now. So congratulations to you, Dr. Wayne Hilson. I got to give a birthday shout out to Anissa Cook. Happy birthday to you. And I got to give a shout out to Carla Baker as well. Her birthday is coming up on Tuesday, member of DST. So happy birthday to you, Carla Baker. For those of you that do not know, DST means it's Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So happy birthday to you, Carla. All right, so let's jump into what the question of the day is. So the question of the day comes from Adrian out of Illinois. Question of the day is brought to you by Cute as a Cupcake, where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. It's located at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana. Get by Cute as a Cupcake and let them know that the 800 credit score man sent you. All right, so Adrian wrote me an email, and you can do the same, 800 credit score man at gmail.com. You can do the same. She wrote and she asked, how can an 18-year-old establish credit? Excellent question. Excellent question. People want to see how they can get their kids a little credit, especially people that listen to the 800 Credit Score Man show, because they have no intention on screwing it up. So they want to know how we can get this thing started for them so that average length of history will be good for them. So here's a couple of things that you can do. Well, I got 4 things that I wrote down. So here's the 4 things that you can do. One, if you've got good credit, Adrian, if you've got good credit, decent credit, or at least just one good credit card that you've never been late on, you don't have a big balance on at all, because that debt utilization will impact your 18-year-old as well. You don't have a big balance on it, and you've had it for over 7 years, I'll say, at least over 7 years, then you can add that 18-year-old as an authorized user on your card. You can do it how you want to do it. You can give them the card if you want, because they'll get a card in their name and they'll be able to use it. You can give it to them if you want, or you can hold it. You can not even tell them at all that they're an authorized user on one of your accounts. But that's one of the ways you can do it. That 18-year-old is going to, even though they're only 18, they're going to get the full weight of the 7 years or how many ever years you've had that particular card, and how good your payment history has been, your debt utilization on it, all of those things. And they won't even get an inquiry on their credit report either. So it's a good thing for that particular 18-year-old, and that's a good thing for anybody that needs to help establish or reestablish credit. So authorized user, do that for your 18-year-old. Your 18-year-old, since they're 18, they can enter into a contract. They can do a self-lender loan or a credit builder loan. You go to your credit union, your local credit union, especially if you're 18-year-old. I didn't get a bank account, I don't think, until I was ready to go to college, so I was 18. So especially if your 18-year-old does not have a bank account, start with a credit union. So now you're a member of the credit union. Get you a credit builder loan from them. They'll work with you. Great. It'll go on all 3 of your credit bureaus. Typically, you can ask the question to make sure, but any federal credit union should be reported to all 3 credit bureaus. get a credit builder loan for that 18-year-old. That 18-year-old may not be able to get a credit card until they hit school. You know how that is. Once you hit college and they give you the opportunity to get a credit card, they come out the woodwork to give you the opportunity. They start sending you things before school is even over for high school, where you can at least apply for a credit card. And oftentimes you don't even need a job or anything, income or anything. So you can do those things. You can do a card for them as well. Now I was going to say a secured card initially. You can do a secured card. You're going to give them, a company, $200. That's going to be their limit. It'll report to all 3 credit bureaus, and they can get a secured card. But now that I think about it, when they hit college campus, they'll be able to get a credit card most likely. So you'll be able to do that, or they can get a store credit card. They seem to be a little bit easier to get. Interest rates are a lot higher than your typical credit card. But when you don't have any credit at all and you're just establishing, your interest rates are going to be high anyway. So they can do those 5 things, I guess. Authorized user, they can do the self-lender or credit builder loan, secured card, store credit card. They can do all of those things. So hey, Adrian, thank you so very much for writing me. She hit me at 800creditscoreman@gmail.com. You can do the same. Send me your questions. You might become a part of the 800 Credit Score Man show. So, Adrian, you are officially a part of the 800 Credit Score Man show family. Thank you so very much. Again, people, contact me. Send me your questions. I would gladly help you out with them. All right, so let's jump back into the show a little bit. We're going to end this one today. We're not going to go around the world. I got stuff to do. I'm going to tell you straight up. I got stuff to do. My kid's last basketball game was this morning. Got the W. Congratulations, Cameron. 16 points, my little man. Good job. And the banquet is this afternoon. So I got to go. So look, now let's jump into back into the balance transfer thing. So I hope we cleared that up. Got the balance transfers. You know what to look for on your balance transfers. If you plan on paying them off within the 12-month time frame or whatever time frame they give you, make sure you do that. And then if you charge additional things to that particular card, know that you're going to have different interest rates as well. So you might have the 0 part for a little bit, but then if you charge something, you just go to the store and charge something, it'll be at the regular rate. So make sure you know that, and then make sure you look at your credit card, because they're not going to apply the money necessarily to the 0 part. When you send in your payment, they may apply part of it to the 0 and part of it to the balance that you already have. And now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, it's best to do the balance transfers when you have no balance on a particular card, because then things don't get convoluted. You're able to go ahead and do exactly what you need to pay that bad boy off. So balance transfers. Another thing you can do to get out of debt, a debt consolidation loan. So you can get that at your credit union, at your bank. If you have a home, you can use a home equity line of credit to do a debt consolidation. If you do something like a home equity line of credit, you can use it for, maybe you got some balance on a car you want to pay off using that. Maybe you have, credit cards or some other things that may not be on your credit report. You got a big orthodontia bill, whatever it is, you'll be able to do that if you got to use a home equity line of credit. And sometimes at a bank, you'll be able to do that as well. Depends on what it is, because if you're looking at trying to get 20 grand, that might be an issue, because if they just give you 20 grand as a personal loan and it's not secured by anything, sometimes they got an issue with that because it's not secured, meaning they can't come take anything back. You go finance a car. That's why people with lower credit reports can get a car, credit scores. They can get a car sometimes and they can't get other things because they can come back and get their car. They can give you a house. You can get a home at a 580 credit score, because you know what? That brick and mortar that's sitting there, one, is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and they can come back and they can snatch it and they can make some more money off of it. So when it comes to being unsecured, then you might have an issue of a lower credit score on doing a personal loan or something like that. But you can do a debt consolidation. Again, always make sure that the money works out for you. So if you're having trouble making these payments, and this is why you want to do a debt consolidation, the major thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to go and get a personal loan that the payment is higher than what you were paying combination of all the other ones. So make sure that it makes sense for you. oftentimes it makes sense in terms of the time that you have to pay it off. Because if you're dealing with credit cards, it could be 7, 8, 10 years. I don't care if you just owe you owe $800. It can be a bunch of years before they before you get to pay them off. But in your debt consolidation loan, it'll be on 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, and you know that it'll be gone, that all that debt will be gone if you make those payments every month the way you're supposed to. So make sure that the numbers work out for you. And again, if you got questions at all, you want to see if this makes sense financially to you for your situation, it's personal finance. Just because it worked for your friend or worked for your mom, worked for one of your coworkers, doesn't mean that it's actually going to work for you and it's the right thing for you to do. So give me a ring. Call me, 312-600-5855. I will absolutely do my best to see if I can help you out and figure all these things out. Okay, so we talked about the debt today. We talked about your avalanche, your snowballs, your balance transfers, your debt consolidation. I think we got it all in, and for the first time ever, we probably going to end the show at the right time. So, again, thank you guys for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man show. And here's what I want you to do when you're dealing with your credit. Before you start doing anything, you want to check your credit. I have people that listen to the show and then confess to me, I have not looked at my credit in years. People call me for my services. Yes, I offer credit restoration, not repair. I don't fix credit. I restore your credit back to the old glory days. I'm a guy that likes old classic cars. You don't fix an old classic car. You restore it back to the way it was. And so that's what I do. So you can contact me at any one of those places I told you earlier today. And you can go to my website, www.creditscoreman.com. You can go there, check out what I have to offer, look at the blog and all that kind of stuff. You can see that at www.creditscoreman.com. But the first thing you need to do is to get your credit report. You can go to www.annualcreditreport.com to get your credit report, or you can sign up for one of those Credit Sesames or Credit Karma, one of those places where you can get it and you can see it for free. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's not going to hurt your credit score to do that. So make sure you take a look at your credit report. Now, before I get out of here, last week we talked about credit cards, and I did not tell you guys the difference between, say, prime and subprime. So when you get your credit card, if you have one right now, you look at your statement, it'll say prime plus 3.5% or whatever it is. So prime is what the going rate is basically for your credit card. A prime credit card is one that will have a lower interest rate. You'll be, seeing definitely, in the teens, maybe in the low 20s. Subprime is going to be when you have higher interest rates. And that doesn't go just for credit cards. It goes for loans as well. It can be a personal loan. It can be one of those loans at the banks that we're talking about, like a credit builder loan, or it can even be your mortgage. You can do a subprime. You're going to have a high interest rate if it's subprime. So when you're calling, you're talking to people, pay attention to the words that they're saying. If they're saying prime, if they're saying subprime, maybe you want to run. Maybe you want to wait until your credit gets better to start making those moves and maneuvers. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that as well. And here's a tidbit that I learned, and I'm going to assume that it's true. I haven't looked into it too hard just yet, but every once in a while, I'll tell you guys, I get an opportunity to speak to the head of consumer education for Experian. And so last time I was able to do so, he said that accounts need to be on your credit report 3 to 6 months of activity on an account for it to really kick in to help your score. 3 to 6 months of activity. So I tell my clients all the time, if this is the first time you're getting a credit card, and I'm sure I've said it on the show, then you need to use the card. You need to use it. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money, but then at least use it and then pay a portion of it. And then the next month, go ahead and pay it off if that's what you want to do. So this guy at Experience says a good 3 to 6 months of activity is where you see the full weight and force to help you with your credit score. So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. I've had success with people doing it over 2 months, and technically I guess it's 3 months, because by the time it hits your credit report, then it shows that you had a balance, then it shows that you made a payment, and then it shows that you paid it off. That's 3-4 months down the road. So this is what the tip that I picked up myself on that. So look, let me get out of